Hello, beautiful people. Let me pull into my closet. So, I have not been on YouTube in a very long time. And, okay, it's been a journey. So, I'm just going to go ahead, get started, and share why I'm here, what to expect. But I had to just do it, right? I had to, hey, Vernon. I had to just go live. I have been putting this off since March. This is August. What is this? August 22nd. Um, but today I know I felt convicted that I need to do it. I need to do it now. Just do it. Stop thinking about it. So I'm here in my closet. One of my closets. Um, I'm here in my closet and I'm just being obedient. Vernon, let me know if you can hear me okay, because I'm going to prop my phone up. Let me know if you can still hear me. Okay, so the reason why I'm here, some of you may be seeing me for the first time, so I will go ahead and introduce myself. But before I get into my introduction, let me just share why I am here, right? I was diagnosed with breast cancer in March of this year, March 24th. Okay, you can hear me great. And a big part of that, I knew I was supposed to share my story. I knew I was supposed to help others on this journey. I knew it wasn't just about me going through it and me healing and yada, yada, yada. But what ended up happening is I kept putting it off, and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like recording videos, or lighting is not here. Oh, I gotta move. Like, it was always something. Even today, I have been putting this off since I've been trying to go live. I was just like, forget it. I know I'm going through the same thing because I'm supposed to share my story and I haven't. But it was just hard. Like, even coming here to go live, it was like, oh, you got to get in the shower. Oh, you need to set up a background. Oh, you need to do your lighting. And it would have took me forever, and I kept putting it off. I've been trying to go live since like 7:30. It's now what, 9:30, 9 o'clock. Anyway, I'm here. I'm here to share my story. And what you guys can expect from me going forward, you will hear more about my story, more about my journey with breast cancer. This channel will be both for my business as well as me sharing my journey with the breast cancer. So, for those who are seeing me for the first time, I thank you for allowing me to go on my little rant and how I got here and how much I've been putting it off. And I think eventually, if you listen to my story and you put the pieces together, you will understand like why. It is a tough journey to anybody who has been down this road, or even being a caregiver, support, seeing someone from the outside looking in. It is tough. But anyway, my name is Sherelle Thomas. I am a certified sex, love, and intimacy coach. I work with powerful, success driven individuals and couples. I help them create a more fulfilling and satisfying love life, and I teach them how to do this by helping them build a deeper connection with their partner, as well as by teaching them mind blowing sexual techniques. So, if you come across this video, you might be like, wait a minute, what does breast cancer, hold on. What does breast cancer have to do with being a certified sex, love, and intimacy coach? There's some connections in terms of like healing and stuff like that, but I know a lot of my audience want to know about my journey. They want to know what's going on with me. They ask me that all the time. So you will get a mixture of both, and it's part of who I am now. So because of that, you will hear both, and you should expect to see and hear more from me. So if y'all like this video, you like me going live, go ahead, hit that like button. You can share it if you want to, but expect to see more of me. You'll see more videos. You will hear more about where I am in my treatment and so on and so forth. But let me start from the beginning. On February 18th, was it the 18th? 16th, 18th, somewhere around there. Um, it was a Thursday. I remember that I was sore from working out, and I was just massaging my shoulders and stuff like that. And I had been on a journey to gain weight. And because I was laying down, I didn't have a bra on, so my breasts were more so, like up higher than normal, because I was laying flat. And anyway, like I'm massaging all of this around here, and I was just like, oh, I got a new muscle. I was like, I can't wait to tell my trainer. But I'm like, what kind of muscle is this? And I kept feeling it. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, that's not a muscle. Like, that's hard. And my heart just dropped. Like, I was on the phone talking to one of my friends, and I just remember he was talking, and it was just like, like on Charlie Brown, was like, one, 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 one. I didn't hear anything. And I was just like, oh, shit. Like, something is wrong. That's not normal. I take very good care of my body. So, anytime it's like a scratch, an itch, a rash, a lump, like, I'm going to know it. And it was a significant size. Like, it was like, that is what I felt at the time. So anyway, that was March. It was a Thursday. I worked out on that Wednesday. And then I called that next day to schedule to get in with my gynecologist. I went to go see my gynecologist a couple of days later, and she was just like, hey, yeah, you're young. Breast cancer doesn't run in your family. I wouldn't be alarmed. It might just be some calcification, but we're going to get a mammogram and an ultrasound to check you out. Okay, fine. I called them as soon as I get in the car. And they couldn't schedule me until March 16th. And I called every single day. I called to see if there was a cancellation, if I could get in sooner, and it was a no. So anyway, come March 15th, my anxiety was through the roof. And I was just like, I don't know, like, I feel like something is seriously wrong, and I was telling my family, and I'm like, I got my appointment tomorrow, I'm like, I'm afraid, I'm scared. And then next morning I got up and I was just crying. I mean, like, really, really crying. And I remember I put on a blue bra, and because I wanted to feel supported. I don't know why. Oh, blue. My best friend, she had her nails done that was blue, and that blue color just looked really, really nice to me. So I wore the blue bra because I knew that if she was in town, that she would go with me and I would get the support that I need. So I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, I'm scared. I don't want to go by myself. Like, I think it's gonna be something bad. My mom was like, and I was crying. My mom was like, my sciatica nerve is hurting. Like, I don't feel like, and she was an hour and a half away. She was just like, can you just call me when you're there? Like, I could tell that she really didn't want to come or whatever. And that hurt even more. So I remember getting off the phone. Yes, buddy. Okay, good night. I'll be in there to give you guys a kiss. Love you too. So I remember getting off the phone with her. And I went, and I got the mammogram, and the radiologist came back in there. She was like, okay, now we got to do an ultrasound. And I got the ultrasound, and I'm laying on the table, and the lady left out, and she was like, yeah, we got to get the radiologist to come back in here, the ultrasound tech. And she was like, she'll explain. So she came back in there, and it took a while. She came back in there so nonchalantly. She was like, first thing she said when she came in, like, hey, she was like, does breast cancer run in your family? And I was like, no. And she was like, how long have you had this mass? And I told her when I found it. And she was like, I've been doing this for a very long time, and it looks like breast cancer. And I was just like, how do you just go from, hey, how you doing? Like, yes, look like breast cancer. Like, no, there was like, no, I guess like there's really not a sensitive way to tell someone that. So immediately it was like, I just zoned out. Like, how like, I eat healthy. I don't eat meat. I do a lot of like natural detergents, natural products for my hair. Like, everything is plant-based, everything is natural. And I just didn't get it. I work out, I don't smoke. Like, it was just a lot. Like me trying to make sense of it and really comprehend like what she was saying. And she just told me, she was like, well, you can come back next week, or you can come back and get a biopsy, and that's going to confirm if it's breast cancer or not. So it was shocking, like extremely shocking. And I just thought about my kids. I remember the nurse tried to come and talk to me. Like, when I am upset and when I am in my emotions, I don't hear like anything. So anyway, Yeah, they took me to another room. They had me get dressed, brought me to the back, and I was just crying, crying, crying. They gave me a sheet of paper, and the sheet of paper was like, "This is more than likely breast cancer." And I mean, like, I'm like, damn, like, there's no buffer, there's no like possibly, but it was just like it was. They were so confident that it was breast cancer that it didn't even give me an opportunity to like process what it could possibly, that it could be that. Like, how? So I left there immediately. When I got in the car, I boohoo like really, really hard. I called my best friend's father because he was diagnosed with cancer 10 years ago, and he beat it. He didn't answer the phone because he didn't know, it was me. They were so cold about it. Yeah, that's what it felt. That's exactly what it felt. But it's like, how do you tell somebody in a nice way that they have breast cancer, or that it's more than likely, breast cancer, so nonchalantly? So anyway, I called him. He didn't answer. I called my grandmother, and I love my grandmother. I respect my grandmother. Like, I love my grandmother. Okay, like, that's one person on this earth that I would never like disrespect. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but me and my grandmother have a very good relationship. And I remember, like, I don't like her seeing me upset. I don't like raising my voice or any of that. But I called her, and I just told her, like, I told her, I was like, I just left and they're telling me that it's more than likely breast cancer. And I was like, I should not be here by myself. Like, that was the biggest thing. I was like, I think it's one thing to receive devastating news, but another thing, like, to be there by yourself. And I was like, I do so much for so many other people. Like, why am I doing this by myself? And I mean, like, I was crying, I was yelling, like, on the phone with my grandmother, and she was just silent. She was just listening, and she was just like, okay, baby, like, okay. She just let me, like, let it all out. And then I got so worked up. I was like, I need to call my mom. Like, she keep calling me, because she did. She was blowing my phone up, and I answered the phone, and I told her like what it was, and I told her the same thing that I told my grandmother. Like, I should not be doing this by myself. I have hundreds of family members who are within a driving radius of me, and I should not be doing this by myself. As many people as I help out, as many people as I go for, like, I should not be doing this for myself. And my mom was like, just tell me what you need. Like, just, I wasn't expecting it. I'm sorry, just tell me what you need. And my first thing was, I was like, I gotta tell my kids. And I was like, I don't want to go home like this, because I was in such like a bad spot. And I was like, I don't want them to see me like this, and I don't want them to see me struggle. I need support, and I got to talk to my kids. And the interesting part is that was March 16th, which I also had a workshop that night because I didn't expect it to be breast cancer. And I know I needed to talk to my kids, because one thing about me is I'm very transparent with my kids. And yeah, they're younger, they're kids, yada, 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 whatever. But energy doesn't lie. Like, I can't sugarcoat the fact that I'm going through something that's frightening, um and make them think that everything is okay. So that was a big thing. But my mom came out. She drove an hour and a half away so that she can come out and talk to me with the kids. And she was trying to convince me, like, no, maybe you shouldn't tell the kids. Maybe you shouldn't do this. And I was just like, no, like, I got to tell my kids. So I am going to stop there tonight. I'm going to leave it at that. I will be back tomorrow to share about that whole experience afterwards. Like, after, I got home, I told my kids about my workshop. Like, that was probably one of the worst workshops I've ever done. Can you imagine? Like this, I want to share with y'all about the workshop, and then just more about my journey. And I know specifically that eventually, when I got out of my emotions, God showed it to me that I wasn't going through this just for myself. Like, I'm going through this so that I can be a blessing to others. I'm going through this so that I can light that path for others to follow, to actually survive it, to actually make it through it, to for family members, you know, for supporters, for those who do have cancer, like ways that you can help, and even just sharing my journey so that people could get the care that they need. Because, baby, you see these boobs right here? Like, I went from, I was a 36 solid D, double D, and now I am I can wear some 36Cs, but like I'm a 36C and a half is what I say. But the journey that I went on, some of the doctors that I spoke to, they wanted to give me a double mastectomy, but I sit here with boobs. So, and I want to share because, and I want to share my story. I want to share what I've been through because not only do I know it's going to help other people like along their journey, but it'll also help people learn how to be an advocate for themselves when it come down to their health, whether it's with cancer, whether it's with dental work, it doesn't matter. I think one thing that I feel the most from this journey is like, I feel like cancer is a bully, period. Like, it's just what I feel. And but I also feel that with the right approach, you can take your power back, and that's what I'm here to share. That's what I'm here to do, is how to help you just not lay down and be a victim to life circumstances and a victim to things that feel like they're out of your control. So again, I am going to stop there for this evening, and I will be back tomorrow. The cliffhanger was so wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, share your journey. It's been what, 16 minutes, and I don't want to make these videos so long. I do want to make it where people can actually break it down and get chunks. So yes, this video is all about the day that I, what is it? The introduction to breast cancer, like how I was introduced to breast cancer. I guess I got to think of a good title. So y'all have something for me? Like what can this video be titled? Because this is just about me finding the lump and them telling me that it could potentially be cancer. Y'all got any ideas? Anything good? Maybe that's what I'll do. The day I found the lump and the day they told me it could be breast cancer, that'll be the title. But I will be back tomorrow. I promise you guys that I will be back. The day my life changed. Yep. The day my life. But one thing is, with this journey, I feel like things have been changing drastically. Like, yeah, the day that changed everything. The lumpy day. I love it. Lumpy days. Oh, lumpy day. I'm doing that. I'm doing lumpy day. Lumpy days. Okay, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Vernon. But I am going to sign off again. I will be back on here tomorrow, and just know that you guys will be hearing more about my journey. And I'm here to share. I want to be a blessing to others, and I know that this is part of the reason why I am on this journey. So in order for me to make it out and make it through, I gotta share. That was another huge thing, right? So I shared about finding the lump, going to get the ultrasound and the mammogram, and guess what, that was March. And eventually I was shown, I think the day that I was officially diagnosed, which I'll share in another video, where they did the biopsy and then they sent it out to the lab and then came back and confirmed that it was breast cancer. I'll share more about those details. But that day, it was placed in my spirit, like, Sherelle, this is not just for you. You have to share your story. You have to be, a light for other people. You have to tell them about your experience. And who wants to do that? Like, this is not something that, like, look, I just won $1 million. Let me show you how to win $1 million. But I guess it's greater than that, because it is life. It is, a positive, way of coping, I guess, for lack of better words. But again, that's why I'm here. I'm just going to share step by step everything that I've been through, being able to document it, to help to help others. In the future, can you do one about how to wait? I don't have my glasses and I don't want to squint. So hold on, let me get my, and don't judge me on my glasses, okay? Like somewhere along this journey, I broke my glasses and I never got them replaced just because it just seemed like so much work for me. Wait, where are they? Okay, don't judge my glasses, beautiful people. Oh, you could judge them. I don't care. Don't nobody care. Still cute. Broken glasses and all. Okay. In the future, can you do one about how to identify it in a significant other? Yeah, I definitely can. You will check in tomorrow. Thank you, Max. What was your mind frame learning all of this and doing a workshop later that day? So y'all really want me to get into it? This video is 20 minutes. My mindset was I had a responsibility. Like I couldn't leave people hanging. I had like 30 people signed up for that workshop. I had 2 guest speakers coming on, and everybody was like, just cancel, just cancel. And for me, I don't like being forced to do anything. And that just didn't sit well with me. So my mindset was like, I still have to show up. Like I can't lay down and be just give up. You know, I can't just, and somebody told me, somebody was like, if I was you, one of the ladies from the workshop actually complained, but I expressed to them from the very beginning, like, look, I just received some life-changing news and my energy level was not there. So I was like, I'm going to give you guys what I can, but just know this workshop will not be what it was intended to be. And I also offered to come back and redo that training at a later date, in which I did, and I delivered, and it was a different energy. And I also had, my mom was there, she was there with the kids, and I had one of my best friends from high school. She came over, and then I also had my best friend come over, and they sat with me like through the workshop, and they were on the floor, and was it just them two? I think it was just them two. But they came and they were very supportive as well. I got dressed. I put me on a red dress and tried to do what I could to keep my energy up. But another thing that saved me is I had three guest speakers coming on. So I only had to do a short amount. And I just told them, I kept telling them, I'm sorry, y'all, my energy is off. And I kept apologizing, asking for grace and asking for compassion, and just letting them know that not only are you going to get this workshop, but I'm also going to come back and give you another one. So that was my mind frame. And hearing all of that, what I went through was I had so many questions. And like, out of all people, I'm like, how the fuck did this happen to me? Like, that was my thing. Like, out of all people, I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. Like, my diet is on point. The products that I use are on point. I exercise. And this is another thing that used to agitate me. They have this checklist, right? You guys may have seen it before, but it's like, if you want to avoid cancer, like, do these things. I did everything on that list. So it was just like, what, how, and why? And like, yeah, like, how did this even come about? So that was my mind frame. It was a lot of questions. It was a lot of unknown. Yeah, it was just a lot. And then to be diagnosed with cancer when you are completely like healthy, like how? Out of all things, like how? So that was what my mindset was. So, okay, that's awesome that you had the support that you needed. Yeah, I agree. So, okay, thank y'all for joining me. And yes, Vernon. So let me tell you this. Ways that you can identify it, like in your partner. So first of all, I would highly recommend that your partner does a self check to feel their body, to massage around it. Um, just massaging like around the chest, and you just take your hand and rub it in a circular motion like around the outer parts of the chest, and even checking under the arms, because you can have a swollen lymph node or something like that, a lump over there as well. So all areas, just massaging in a circular motion. And you keep going around until you get to the nipple and you massage there. So it's kind of like you're covering territory like that, like going in a swirl until you get to the middle. And then other parts, just pressing like that. Just pressing like that. So that was another thing that brought me here now, is because, like I told you guys before, I knew back then that I was supposed to do this and share my story, and I didn't. And guess what? 2 weeks ago, I found another mass in my breast, and I found it. And this is another huge thing, ladies and gentlemen. Like, guys can get breast cancer as well, so don't think you guys are exempt. You can check yours as well. Look for any discharge, from the nipple, bleeding from the nipple, any kind of discharge, as well as feeling for lumps, feeling for anything that feels like uncomfortable or out of the norm. It's another thing. Um, Something else I was going to say. So mammograms. I'm 39, so you don't start getting mammograms until you're 40. So if your partner is 40 or older, make sure you um, encourage her to schedule a mammogram. And it doesn't feel as bad as people make it seem, but don't be afraid, because early detection is key. The earlier you can detect it, the better it is. So those are just a couple of tips from me. Doing the massage, not the massage, the self check, even just pressing around, so on and so forth. Like, I have a mass. Where is it now? I can't feel it anymore. I just had a biopsy and it came back negative. But yeah, I feel it. It's like right here. I couldn't feel it through all of the padding, like on my thing, but I feel it. It feels different than the rest of my breast. And it feels more like a hard knot. So those are just a couple of things that I would recommend. Another huge thing that I would recommend for both men, women, everybody on here: make sure your iron levels are high. Make sure your vitamin D levels are not high over, but like where they need to be. I had a vitamin D deficiency as well as an iron deficiency, and guess what? Majority of the people who are diagnosed with cancer, they have lower vitamin D levels. Get your vitamin D in. And I know, like, we joke a lot, talk about, like none and stuff like that, but soaking up the sun, taking vitamin D. My vitamin D levels have increased since the beginning, and I feel totally different, energized, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I hope that is it. That's awesome. Yeah, that you had the support. Hey, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling really good today. Really, really good. Should you do it upright or laying down, or does it not matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Oh, a good thing is the hand behind the head, or hand on top of the head, is a good way of massaging it. But okay, y'all kept me much longer. What did you do to increase your vitamin D? I started taking vitamin D, and I also soaked up the sun. Put me on some sunscreen. Went out and got in the sun. I went to Florida. Since I found this mask, I had got back from Florida like a week before I found the mask. But since then, I've been to Florida like 3 or 4 times, laying out on the beach, like getting as much as I can. But it helps, especially now with the summertime. But the main thing was taking vitamin D. I was taking vitamin D 10,000 IUs. I think that's what it is. Every single day. And you got to take it with this fat soluble, so I take it with food. Yeah, and I can't remember. Yeah. I take it with fatty foods like peanut butter, health, avocados, things like that, so that my body can absorb it. So those are some things that I do for vitamin D. cool. Enjoy your night. Okay, thank you. You too. Tell Desiree I say hello. Very informative. Thanks for this. You're so very welcome. I will be back on here tomorrow. And I'll share about that day from, that day for how I did my workshop, talk the conversation with my kids, how that went. And then I'll just take you on a journey with me that I've been through. And I thank you guys for being so supportive, so very supportive. I started my chemo on the 31st of this month. So yeah, I start a new leg of this journey. But you guys will hear more from me. And I will keep you guys posted on everything. I am sending you all so much love. Thank you for joining me. Now, thank you for hearing about my lumpy day. And I will be back tomorrow. All right. I hope y'all have an amazing night. Deuces.